Hello everyone. Welcome to the course Information System and Engineering Economics. Hope you are watching the lecture series on ISEE and solving the assignment questions regularly. This is the first session on unit number 4, that is money and economic value. The objective of this course is to introduce the conceptual understanding using simple and practical example. The present study is concerned with engineering economic decisions. We, as an engineer, always try to find solution to the problem. We also seek to get economic viability of each potential solution, which is normally considered along with the technical aspect. Fundamentally, engineering economics involve formulation, estimation, and evaluation of the economics outcomes when alternatives to accomplish a defined purpose are available. Our last lecture deals with Aadhaar case study, that is ICT for development of e-governance. Under this segment, we have studied one case study whose name is Aadhaar case study. So just try to recall how UIDIA adopted ecosystem to build a symbiotic network. Yes, that's right. UIDIA based on the architecture of CIDIR, that is Center Identities as a Data Repository. This repository containing all the Aadhaar numbers issued to the cardholders, along with the corresponding demographic information and biometric information of such individuals and other information related to thereto. It takes continuous feedback from UIDIA and thus monitor the overall system services like LIC, income tax kind of services. Next, we will take a quick review of this unit number 3. In unit 3, that is leveraging information system, we briefly discuss the several methods that are required to develop new information system software application. We reviewed the one formal SDLC process and few informal process such as agile approaches and lean methodologies. We discuss the business process integration, that managing the business processes documentation. We reviewed the ERP system along with ERP vendors, then CRM, that is customer relationship management, and SCM. We learned the role of ICT in development of e-governance. We reviewed the e-governance concept, implementation challenges. So this is the summary of unit 3. Next, we will see the contents of today's lecture. We just saw the summary of our unit 3. In this lecture, we plan to learn about engineering economic decisions. Okay. The contents of session 1, as we begin with introduction to engineering economy, which is very interesting and every engineer must know the basics of engineering economy. We will cover the basic terminology involved in engineering economy. Then we will proceed to learn about engineering economic decision, in which we will learn about types of decisions. After that, we will address the issues associated with rational decisions, which are associated with business processes. We will conclude our session by taking the review of role of engineers in business. This is the roadmap for our session. Next, we will see what is engineering economy. Before we proceed to learn about economics decision, it is necessary to understand first what is engineering economy. So, economic decisions making for engineering system is called engineering economy. This definition may be restricted to engineering projects and systems only. Engineering economy, however, is always the study of industrial economics and the financial factors which influence the industry. Engineers are the people who are familiar with all the technicalities of machinery and production. Therefore, they are the best judges of the useful lives of an assets, and they also have the technical knowledge to calculate the number of units that proposed plant would produce when operational. In today's competitive world of business, it has become essential that engineers should practice financial projects analysis for engineering projects and make rational decisions. Engineering economy also include the study of accounting practices for manufacturing concern. Unique features of accounting for manufacturing concerns are process costing, batch costing, cost allocation. Engineering economy deals with justification and selection of project. Many engineers work on projects which address a specified activity or problem. Any decision regarding the project must be justified. In business environment, many, if not all, decisions are justified using monetary criteria such as profit. Such decisions are made at the managerial level, and many engineers become managers in manufacturing environment. So this is engineering economy. Next, we will see few examples of engineering economy. Let us present few examples in different environments where engineering economy can facilitate the decision making process. The first one is the business environment. A small manufacturing company needs to buy a truck for material handling. Two different brands, say A and B, are being considered. Which truck should bought? The decision will probably based on the minimization of the cost. So such kind of decisions are need to be taken in business environment. Next is non-profit organization. A project for widening a two-lane highway to four-lane highway is being considered by the board of directors of Highway Authority Board. A four-lane highway may reduce the traffic but is expected to lower property value in the immediate neighborhood of the highway. Should the proposed highway be built or not? The Highway Authority Board must weigh the relative benefit of lowering the accident rate against the possible loss in value of the homes as well as the construction cost. So such kind of decisions need to be taken in non-profit organization. Next is individuals. A new college graduate needs a car. Should this car be bought or leased? Methods from engineering economy can be used for determining the best choice. The economic factors are the important as regard for the physical laws and the science that determine what can be accomplished with engineering. Thus, at individual level, decision making shows how engineering is composed of physical and economic component. Now next environment is physical environment. In physical environment, engineers produces products and services depending on the physical law. Physical efficiency is the ratio of system output to system input. Then next is economic environment. Much or less of a quantitative nature is known as economic environment. This is due to economics being involved with the action of people and the structure of organization. Satisfaction of the physical and economic environment is linked through the production and construction process. Engineers need to manipulate system to achieve a balance in attributes in both the physical and economic environment and within the bounds of the limited resources. So these are the few examples of engineering and economy environment. Next, we will see few more examples. Following are some examples where engineering economy plays a crucial role. For example, choosing the best design for high efficiency gas furnaces, selecting the most suitable robot for welding operation on an automotive assembly line, making a recommendation about whether jet airplanes for an overnight delivery services should be purchased or leased. Then one more example, suppose considering the choice between reusable and disposable bottles for high demand beverages. During our engineering study, we have studied what is the good design for a furnaces or suitable robot for an assembly line. But it is economic evaluation that allows the further definition of the best design or the most suitable robot. I hope you understand very well what are the different business environments where engineering economy is applicable. Next, we will see what exactly the engineering economic decisions. We as individuals or common man constantly make decisions in our daily lives. We make most of them automatically without any intentional way, but we are actually following some sort of logical decision steps. First is rational decision making process. Rational decision making is often a complex process that include number of essential steps. There are some important constraints or ideas that often balancing out the rational aspects to the process. Soon we will see all the 6 steps that are involved in rational decision making process in detail. Next is the role of engineer in today's business enterprises. A business engineer is a hybrid between a commercial and technical role. It can work as association between commercial and technical team. Then another important decision is economic decision. There are few strategic engineering types which helps to make certain economic decision. The 5 main types of engineering economic decisions such as service improvement, equipment and process selection, equipment replacement process, then new product and product expansion, and one more important is that cost reduction. In the last, what is fundamental principle in engineering economics? A fundamental concept in engineering economics is that money has a time value. It is better to receive money earlier than later. if you receive 1000 rupees now, you can invest it and have more money available after 6 months. This concept will be the basic foundation for all engineering project evaluation. In the rest of the session, we will address all these decision making tasks with more insight into each of them. So, we will learn about rational decision first. The rational decision making process involves careful methodological steps. The more carefully and strictly you follow these steps, then more rational the process you will opt. We will look at each step in closer detail. The first step is a decision problem, also known as identify the problem. To this starting plus might obvious a failure to identify the problem clearly. It can derail the entire process. It can sometimes require serious thought to find the central issue that must be addressed. That is, you need to find a reliable way to solve the problem. Next step is define the goal or objective to establish decision criteria. In this step, the decision maker need to determine what is relevant in making the decision. This step will bring the decision makers and any other stakeholders, interest, values and preferences into the process. To continue our example, some of the criteria identified might include budget, safety, functionality, and reliability. Next step is decision criteria. Because the criteria identified will be equally important, you will be needed to vet the criteria to create the correct priority in decision. For example, you may have vet budget, safety and reliability as the most important criteria to consider, along with several other slightly less critical criteria. Next step is generate alternative. Once you have identified the issue and gathered relevant information, now it is time to list potential options for how to decide what to do. Some of those alternatives will be common and fairly obvious option, but it is often helpful to create and non-unusual solutions as well. The alternative, suppose for example you generated alternative that include the type of car or using public transport or carpooling or pay and ride service. Next is evaluate alternatives. After creating somewhat full list of possible alternative, each alternative can be evaluated. Which choice is most desirable and why? All of the options equally feasible or some of unrealistic or impossible. Now is the time to identify both the merits and the challenges involved in each possible solution. The next is select the best alternative. After careful evaluation of alternative, you must choose a solution. You should clearly state your decisions so as to avoid confusion or uncertainty. The solution might be one of the particular option that was initially listed, an adoption of one of those options, or a combination of a different aspect from multiple suggestions. It also possible that an entirely new solution will be arise during the evaluation process. So these are the certain important decision making process that can be happen during rational decision making process. Next, we will take an overview of engineering economics. Engineering economics belongs to what is in economics decision. The principle of engineering economics focuses on the processes used to make an economics based decision, not on traditional decision itself. Engineering economics plays an important role for businesses because it helps identify the steps required to make well thought out of the decisions, such as whether to lease or purchase office space, invest in new computers or update the existing one, or provide customer service in house or outside, that is outsource. The customer service department will take decision about the outsourcing of the services. Then next is predicting the future. The evaluation criteria establish measure of economic worth that make it possible to decide between two possible cost or investment alternative. The alternative that provide the greatest return from the least cost or investment is as usual the best solution. The common measure for worth include calculation based on the time value of money, a concept that uses time, interest rate, and investment amount to determine which alternative is wise. Then next is role of engineers in businesses. Engineers play a vital role in capital investment decision based upon their ability, experience, experience to design, experience to analyze and synthesize. The factors upon which a decision is based are commonly a combination of economic and non-economic elements. Engineering economy deals with the economic factors by definition. Engineering economy involves formulating or estimating and evaluating the expected economic outcome or alternatives of the design process to accomplish the defined purpose. There are few mathematical techniques that simplify the economic evaluation of the alternative. Next is the types of strategic engineering economic decision. There are five main types of engineering economic decision. First is equipment or process selection. Second is equipment replacement. Then third is product or product expansion. Then fourth is cost reduction. And last is improvement in service or quality. For example, how many more jeans would Levi need to be sold to justify the cost of additional robotic tailor? Similarly, strategic decisions such as how do you choose between the plastic sheet and steel sheets for an automobile body panel. The choice of material will prescribe the manufacturing process for an automotive body as well as manufacturing cost too. I hope you understand what exactly economic decisions are and what is the role of engineers in economic decision making process. Next, we will see one problem statement related to which car should buy. The purchase decision is only the visible part of complex decision making process by the consumer. In 1968, Engel, Blackwell, and Colart developed a model of the consumer buying decision process, which contains 6 steps, such as recognize a decision problem, define the goals or objectives, collect all the information, identify the feasibility, decision alternatives, select the decision criteria, select the best alternative. We will look at each step in detail with one decision making example, such as which car should buy, Suzuki or Honda. Recognize a decision problem. The need recognition or problem recognition is the first step in the buying process. If there is no need, then there is no purchase. This recognition happens when there is a gap between the consumer's actual situation and the ideal situation, or you can say the desired one. Then this comes to the need of a car. For example, the ability to be able to travel your work by a car in 20 minutes every day is the ideal situation, rather than 2 to 3 hours using public transport. That is the actual situation. Is something that means a lot to most of the people. So the obvious need arises for the purchase of a car. Second decision criteria is that define the goal or objective. Once the need is identified, the consumers seek information about possible solutions to their problem and define the goal or objectives. They will search for more or less information depending on the complexity of the choices to be made, which result in the goal of what exactly the consumer want: mechanical security, such as security like car should be having a safety airbags, an anti-skidding brake system, alloy wheels, and anti-theft mechanism. Then third decision criteria is collect all the relevant information. In this step, the consumers seek to make their choices and assist their decision making process with the help of internal information and external information. What is internal information? In internal information, it is about the car is already present in the consumer's memory. It comes from the previous experiences they have and had with a product or brand, and the opinion they may have made about that brand. While the external information, it containing the car information on a brand received from or obtained by the friends or the family, or by reviews from the other consumers or from the media. For that purpose, they gather the technical as well as financial data. Technical data, consumer may compare with engine cubic capacity, that is cc of the engine, then the torque, acceleration, mileage, sitting capacity, number of gears, and financial data such as cost and servicing cost, insurance cost, loan facility, and some other financial benefits. The next decision criteria is identify a set of feasible decision alternatives. Once the information is collected, the consumer will be able to evaluate the different alternatives that are offered. They will evaluate the most suitable alternative that best solve their needs or problem by looking at the objective characteristics such as features and functionality of the product or services. Then subjective characteristics such as perception and the observed value of the brand or its reputation. With this characteristic, the consumer can make a decision choice to choose between Suzuki and Honda. Next is select the decision criteria to use. Once the consumer has evaluated the different solutions available for meeting their needs, they are able to choose the product or services that best solve their problem or meets their need. These decisions will depend on the information and the selection made in the previous steps based on the observed value, products, features, services offered, and other capabilities that are important to them. Thus, the consumer wants minimum total cash outlay, that is total money spent. Then the last decision criteria is select the best alternative. After evaluation of all the alternatives available, consumers select the best alternative to buy the car. Thus, after comparison, consumer decided to buy Honda car. But whether they have made the right choice in purchasing this service or product, they will feel either a sense of satisfaction for the product, that is, buying a car is best alternative, or instead of buying, is it possible to take a car on rent or on a lease? So next we will see a comparative analysis of a financial data for automobile leasing. To get the best financial deal, consumer obtained some financial facts from the dealer on their best offer. With each offer, consumer added up all the cost of leasing from the down payments to the deposition fees due to the end at the lease agreement. This sum would determine the total cost of leasing that vehicle. It will not counting the routine item such as the oil change and other maintenance. This table shows a comparison of the cost of the both offers. It appears that by leasing the car, consumer could save something from his total payment because the consumer could not anticipate his exact driving need after daily commuting to the office, and it is difficult to come up with $2,410 due to the lease signing. Consumer decided to lease the Honda car. Certainly, any monetary saving could be important, but consumer preferred having some flexibility in his future driving needs. He evaluated all the parameters that are considered under the lease agreement, like the lease length, then mileage allowed, then monthly lease payment. After that, the mileage surcharge. Suppose you drive more than 48,000 miles extra, then you have to pay some extra amount. So these are the certain parameters. After evaluating all these parameters, he decided to lease the Honda car. Next, we will see the engineering economic decisions. It encompasses 6 phases. In design phase, the product, what features should be considered, when to be launched. Decisions were made during the engineering design phase of the product's development. It determined the majority of the cost for the manufacturing that product. As design and manufacturing process become more complex, the engineer will increasingly be called upon to make decisions that involve the cost. After design, there will be a planning. In planning and screening, mainly engineers reviewing the objectives and issues that may be encountered. It is the coordination and planning of the material, labor, and capital movements in the specific project. If you are able to invest your money at 8% over the planning horizon, which plan would result in more money saved by the time you have at the age of 65? This is called planning. After planning, there will be a investment. In investment, it is a financial statement, provide the basis for future investment analysis. In practice, we rarely make investment decision based solely on estimate of project's profitability, because we must also consider the project's overall impact on the financial strength and position of the company. For example, some companies with low cash flow may be unable to bear the risk of the large project. So, after investment, there will be a manufacturing. In manufacturing, crucial decisions are made during the manufacturing process of product, such as whether to use the plastic bottles or aluminum can for popular beveraging drink, or whether fiber sheets or steel sheets should be used for the car bodies. After manufacturing decision, there will be a marketing. The marketing is very important decision making, which include marketing surveys and benefit cost analysis. It measures the product's potential and economic feasibility. Marketing decisions are generally made at high level within a company. After marketing, there will be a profit. The term profit is used to denote the net gain from the investment in a private firm. Whereas in public sector, the term net benefit is used in the sense of social benefit, less social cost. It is important for an engineering project to generate profits, but the project also must strengthen the firm's overall financial position. Maximizing profit, however, is the most common specific objective of company. Next, we will see prediction of future investment. The difficulty and uncertainty involved in prediction of future value. For estimating a required investment, the factors in estimating benefits and cost, and in choosing an appropriate time frame and a minimum attractive rate of return. Factors other than maximization of profit or net profit must be considered in selection of capital projects. Social, political, and environmental concerns, as well as the economic factors, may be significant in influencing the project selection. After estimation required investment, there will be a forecasting of a product demand. What will be the social values that may influence the manufacturing process of a new product as well as it makes demand? However, long range forecasting is inherently difficult. It is never advisable to extend the trends of the next few years into the next few decades. So this is the forecasting of a product demand. Now next is estimating a selling price. We know that the selling price is decided total amount of money that will be received, so this has to be represented as 100% for the purpose of this calculation. In basic term, goods cost plus gross profit is equal to the selling price. So, sales forecasting is the process of estimating what your business sales are going to be in future. A sales forecast period can be a monthly, quarterly, half annually, or annually. After estimating a selling price, there will be estimating a manufacturing cost. A sales forecast is an estimate of the quantity of goods and services you can realistically sell over the forecast period. The cost of the goods and the services and the estimated profit typically done by making a list of goods, then estimating the number of each good sold, then multiplying the unit price by estimated number of goods, and finally determining the cost of each good or service. After that, there will be estimating a product life. The product life can be estimated using reliability. It is known as reliability analysis method. Reliability is the probability that material or component or system will perform its intended function under the defined operating conditions or a specified period of a time. So these are the things associated with predicting the future. Next, we will see the role of engineers in business. The purpose of this slide is to understand the role of engineers in today's business corporate area. The role of engineers in decision making provide a basic understanding of the probable answers from an economic viewpoint to the questions of what to build, where to build, and when to build, or whether to build. It includes create a design. Engineers wear many hats and play many roles in every step of a new design development. Their expertise can help reduce many of the cost drivers of a new product development, such as time to market requirement, product specification, and overall practices to improve or fit the product, and functioning a product, among other things. After design, there will be a analyze phase. Under analyzing phase, engineer look at the production methods, safety, environmental impacts, and market assessment. This production method, it is a stage of production themselves become optimized and less expensive. Good design is then utilized to reduce the cost future as the capabilities of manufacturing increase and expand in scope. This safety, under this develop policies to ensure safety of an engineer's environment, its consumers, and back office employees. They inspect the equipment, environments, and buildings to identify areas that can potentially cause the health and safety hazards. After that, there are two types of evaluation process carried out by engineers in business environment, such as in a first phase they evaluate expected profitability, timing of cash flows. This timing of cash flows means time of occurrence of a cash flow, interest rate for time value of money, and measure of economic worth for selecting an alternative. Degree of financial risk. After evaluating all these potential risk analysis, they further evaluate the impact on financial statements, firm's market value, stock price. The question maybe arises in your mind that why computer engineers should learn these business processes. The reason is that Yahoo, Apple, Microsoft Corporation and Sun Microsystem produces computer products and have a market value of several billion dollars. These companies were all started by young college students with technical backgrounds. When they went into the computer businesses, these students initially organized their companies as a proprietorship. As the business grew, they became patron and were eventually converted to a corporation. That is the need to learn this engineering economics by the computer engineers. The two important factors in engineering economic decisions are time and uncertainty, which define any engineering economic decisions. Basically, it is a type of strategic engineering economic decisions which attempt to lower operating cost of the company such that whether a company should buy equipment to perform an operation currently done manually or spend money in order to save more money later. In short, it is a process of selecting the best course of action from various alternatives to get best return. Next, we will see some study questions. The first question is, what are the types of engineering economic decisions? Explain two in detail. Second question is that when evaluating a large scale engineering project, which factor should consider for evaluation? Then next question is, explain in detail the four fundamental principles of engineering economics. I hope you will be able to solve this study question and submit within a deadline to our classroom. Now it is time to summarize our session. The term engineering economic decision refer to all investment decision relating to engineering project. The five main types of engineering economic decisions are service improvement, equipment and process selection. Then third is equipment replacement. Then new product and product expansion and cost reduction. The factors of the time and uncertainty are the defining aspect of any investment project. In next session, we will discuss the second module of Unit 4, that is time value for money. The basics of engineering economic decisions are available in textbook. You can take a review of this fundamental. The time value for money actually considering the prevalence of capital to be lent for a certain period of time with the understanding that it will be returned to the investor. Money time relationship analyze the cost associated with this type of action. You can post your queries at forum of our Google Classroom. Thank you very much. Have a nice day.